We're really nearly at the end of March, and there's a reason why I am letting this painting podcast kind of go quite late, because the energies in March have been so intense. So I'm going to show you the painting that I've been painting for the energy forecast for March. And as you can see, it's behind me on the wall. It's quite dark colours. I put this on a podcast stick so we can come in a bit closer because it's a lot smaller than I usually paint. And there's another reason I did it this way. So the energy in March has been really intense, and what I've been being shown is like we've had this movement of the planets coming into quite a few alignments, and we are purging out from within us a lot of dark karmic debris that has been sort of trapped in the lower chakras and actually in the earth. And so when I was painting this painting, there are a lot of deep greens, very deep greens, a lot deeper than this, a lot of almost black, but it was kind of very dark purple I used, and it became like a sort of the flutterings of a yonic gateway. So you can see this around here. I'm just trying to show with my hands. And I was instructed to do it small. I don't think I could have coped with a much larger paintings dealing with these energies, because they were for me like very an intense process. And I was told to do it where it goes over the frame, because it was like it had to completely envelope the entire process to show that this is an encompassing process that we've all been going through in humanity, a really totally encompassing process where we are being squeezed and we're like being shown that actually the way we want to go is a higher vibration, but first we have to deal with what's already there, what we have created through our own incarnations on Earth and here on other planets, but also what we have created as a collective consciousness. So it is quite a small painting for me. I'm going to step away from it for a moment and you can see, but it's a very intense process. So I had lots of purples here coming in as transformation. There was the Archangel Michael was definitely present, and Archangel Zadkiel, but more the energies of Saint Germain were definitely coming in through this painting, as the violet flame is trying to help us move and transform through these old energy systems that we have all been collecting and also created in the past and are now trying to resolve and bring to a higher vibration. Now, I want to say, like, not everything we do is good or bad. You know, sometimes the forces, you know, at that time in history and those epochs were as such to be able to move on to our own development through, we had to go through some certain forces. But like every point of recycling, we have to revisit that energy and begin to dismantle and disconnect and upgrade it to the next vibration. It's a bit like having a tractor with a rusty bolt in that's very old, and even though we replace all different parts of the tractor structure so it upgrades, we still have to work on the rusty bolt and get that out and put in a new one. And even change, you know, maybe they don't make that bolt anymore. I'm sure you've all been there. And they have to then do some reconfiguration to replace a lot more. So I feel like this has been going on very intensely. We're in a sort of birth canal. And I feel like this has been working on the lower chakras, and particularly looking at this kind of balance of the masculine and feminine that we have gone through in our lifetimes. And this could almost be like the great Malkut, like the great opening, where we enter into the yoni space, or we come down the elementary canal. So it felt like both, there was this real sense of birth happening. But even in the birth, it's coming out of this very dark presence that we've had to deal with, that's been around us and also reflected within us and in the earth frequencies. So there is light coming in, luckily. I thought if I don't, it was so hard to paint this painting because I had to go through my own transformational processes while I was doing it. And so luckily there is light coming in and coming through here as the white light, as the Christ consciousness actually coming in. And I had these gold symbols coming in as Christ coming into the etheric, this sort of unity consciousness, this higher vibration, higher awareness, bringing beauty and understanding and love, unconditional love of self, to the planet and to ourselves as a species, as an evolving souls on this journey. And so what I would also like to say here is that these aspects round the side that I kept painting as this very deep green, and when I was going through this process, I also was very intuitively drawn to work with the deep green Aura Soma Bottle, which is number 91, which is actually feminine leadership. So it's kind of interesting that I saw this as the enveloping of the birth canal, because I didn't really see it as masculine or feminine. You know, we are both working towards this union of the two. But this bottle, so I've been working on this as I've been using this painting, because I found that I needed something to help me move through the density that I was experiencing as I was painting this. So when I inquired into what these aspects were, this deep green around the edges, I was being told repeatedly that we were having to deal with our own levels of hate. So this is why I left it right till the end of March to release this, and it's taken me all this time to paint it, because it was such a heavy subject that I didn't know if I really wanted to, to let that go out in the world on my YouTube. But I feel like, sometimes we need to know that even though if we're working on some very deep levels of deep, karmic, difficult feelings, emotions, aspects, resolutions, that there is resolution coming. There is light coming, and that actually that light is always there if we need it. So these golden symbols here, these are like light consciousness that are coming in to help break up the density. We are ready on the planet now, and it's helping us to bring these into our vibratory system so that we can then emit out and radiate much more calmer, in alignment frequencies, much more beauty, much more love, all the things that we want to create a good earth, a really healthy, decent earth, and to pay homage to Gaia and ourselves as beautiful light beings. So this is the painting. I'm not going to make it a very long podcast for this painting, because even standing next to it, I can feel the oppression on my lungs. I can feel the weight of it. And I have to say, particularly, this represented the movement of the masculine energy, the old patriarchy that's being broken up and that's being moved on. And I feel like March has been a really big time for us to experience that. So I have to say, I've already started working on the April painting, and it's much lighter, and I'll do another podcast for that. But if you're interested in this painting, it's not up on my website yet. But if you are interested in this, then you're very welcome to message me using my links. You can find me at Earthmother Starchild, and I'd love to hear from you. Okay, bye.